But now you find yourself here, and you have this responsibility and this platform, really, to try and make a positive difference in the world. How do you think about that, and how do you help lead the board and your management team towards making that difference, and what's it mean to you personally?
You know, Doug, the more I delved into this whole area of making a difference, sustainability, I'm convinced that unless you feel it deep down in your heart, and you really understand it, you'll be doing lip service to the whole area of sustainability. In my case, I grew up in Madras in India, where at those days, and even today, I think, there wasn't much water in the city. And we had so little water to live on every day that this whole notion of water availability and water use was a crisis for me all my life. I didn't know a time when water was aplenty until I came to the United States, okay? So water was seared into my head. The second is we grew up eating and drinking a certain way. And all of a sudden, I realized that as you look around the world, as you look around all of the health issues around the world, food played a very important role in people's health and wellness. So, you know, one had to worry about that aspect too. And then my daughter went to work for the Environmental Defense Fund, EDF. And I got a whole new appreciation for all of the environmental issues beyond water, whether it was the carbon footprint, whether it was fisheries, whether it was any issue. She would actually show me all of the statistics, what it was doing to the world, overfishing in certain coasts or plastic in oceans. And when you start to really feel these issues and think about your kids and their kids, you ask yourself, what is my role as a steward of a large company to make a difference in the world through this incredible platform that I have called leader of a big company that could either contribute to the issues or help alleviate the issues. I knew that I didn't want to contribute to the issues. I had to start helping the issues, and to the extent that society had changed and I was perceived as contributing to some of the issues, I had to make a change to my business model. And therein was born our notion of performance with purpose, which is how can we keep performing while changing the portfolio, while fundamentally changing our environmental footprint. And then the third one, which is really the one that I'm most excited about, is what can we do for our employees so that they can come to work at PepsiCo feeling like PepsiCo is a place where you can not just make a living, but have a life, so that you can bring your whole self to work, the company treats you in a fair and equitable way, provides you the support system to be who you are, to allow you to be who you are, and we embrace you completely. And so performance with purpose is not a corporate social responsibility program. It is not. It is how we make money. Because our belief is if we don't change the portfolio, we can't keep delivering performance. If we don't change our environmental practices, we won't get a license from society to operate. And our cost goes up because we pay for water, we'll end up paying more for plastic recycling, so we have to do that. And if we don't get the best and brightest in terms of people, we won't be able to deliver performance. So performance with purpose is how we make money, not how we spend the money we make, which is what corporate social responsibility is all about. So that's really what we're all about.
Hi, my name's Nadu Lawson. I'm an MBA 2 here. My question for you was, you mentioned international growth before, and I'd love to hear how PepsiCo and Walmart are thinking about the African market. Specifically in the mid and long term, what do you think you're going to have to do differently to win the consumers there?
You know, I tell you, PepsiCo in Africa doesn't have as big a footprint as we would like to have. But I think it's an actually wide open market in so many ways, and I'll tell you why. The African consumer is, the economic plight of the African consumer is improving enormously, so that's a very good thing. Second, the continent is hungry for the right supply chains, the right products to come in. So I think the market is just now sort of taking off. I wish we'd been there earlier, but now that we are increasing our footprint there, I think the challenge we have is how do we go into Africa with healthy products right off the bat? Not start with the fun-for-you products, start with more the good-for-you products, the more grains, fruit and vegetable, stuff that contributes to the nutritional quality of the African consumer. which means we have to set up the agricultural supply chains, which is really what we're working on right now. So I think, especially the sub-Sahara Africa region, because in parts of Africa like Tanzania or South Africa or Nigeria, we're in already. But the rest of Africa, I think we're working on setting up the agricultural supply chains. And there's a lot of it available in Africa. We think the potential is huge.